Because of our very warm winter and now spring, it seems that we are experiencing bee season early. So what should you or should you not be doing if a bee decides to attack? Well, Captain Barrett Baker has tips for keeping you safe. Bee season!
Be careful.
So, see, we
could do a lot this segment with the bees.
The
for
bees?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll count. You're at 1.
Okay. You're at 2 already.
Yes.
And I'm Barrett Baker, BB.
BB. Oh, there you have it. All right, let's talk about bee season.
Okay.
So they're out with a vengeance right now. Is this normal?
It is normal. We definitely see an increase in the bee calls in those spring months. So
Okay.
just over the last month alone, we've had over 40 calls to 911 reporting bee swarms. Now, just because there's a bee swarm does not necessarily mean that those bees are dangerous at that time. So while you see a bee swarm, that's one thing, and obviously I would keep my distance from that and keep your head on a swivel. But just because they're there does not necessarily mean they're going to attack you. So we have to keep that in mind. And at the end of the day, bees are very important. They're very good for nature. Obviously, we have beautiful flowers and so many other things. I like honey as well. So those are good things.
Too.
Yeah. So we don't necessarily want to go out and have to kill the bees. And the only time that we would actually do that is if there's posing a life safety issue. And that means if there's a swarm that is actually attacking somebody or animals, then that's obviously going to be a major concern for us.
Why do bees attack?
Well, they're basically, at the end of the day, they're protecting the queen bee.
Okay.
And if you are in an area and they feel like they're threatened, then obviously they're going to take the steps necessarily to where they have to protect their home, so to speak. So I remember last year, unfortunately, there was one particular call where a person was walking down Tanque Verde near the Gulf and stuff and walked over the bridge. There was a swarm or a hive underneath there, and the bees basically attacked that poor woman. She was stung multiple, like 200 to 300 times.
Oh
so
my God.
That's worst case scenario for us, because obviously we have to get there as quickly as possible, try to spray her off with as many of the bees and get her transported to the hospital as quickly as possible. So generally speaking, we want to keep our distance from bees. If you have major concerns about it, obviously a bee removal expert is going to be your best bet. But if that's too late and there's an actual attack taking place, then immediately call 911. We can try to get there as quick as possible.
And can you do anything if bees decide to attack you?
Well, I would pull out the old Forrest Gump and I would run.
Okay.
I mean, you need to run as quickly as possible and try to get yourself into shelter, because the bees can basically, depending on where the attack is, I think they can chase you up for about 1/4 mile. So,
oh God.
Obviously depends on our physical shape, how old we are, where we're at, but we need to run and we need to get inside as quickly as possible. If you can get indoors, in a car, anything like that, that's going to be your best case. When you are running, and I mean, it's going to be a terrible thing, because we know if you get stung by one bee, it hurts. So if you have hundreds of bees attacking you, you're going to be disheveled. Try to protect your face as much as possible, because it's going to be nose, mouth, eyes, ears, terrible things. So if worst comes to worst, take your shirt off, try to protect your face, and then run as quickly as possible.
You are painting just a horble picture.
It's not
like
very
movies.
much fun.
It's like like the terrifying movie.
And it is just a terrible experience. And it's a fact of nature, though, that during the springtime they're very active. And unfortunately, we probably will be responding to something like this over the next few months. So, just have a plan. Know that if something like that happens, if the bees are antagonizing you for a little bit, and you're walking somewhere and all of a sudden you see some aggressive bees and kind of pinging you, that's kind of a warning sign that you're getting close. So if you feel like any sort of aggressiveness from bees, take an eye or keep an eye out, look to see if you can see anything, and turn around and just go the other way.
And do bees work where there's like one, there's two, there's hundreds? I
think it just depends on where they're going. Are they trying to set up a hive somewhere? Are they actually just out getting pollen or whatever they're doing for their day-to-day tasks? One of the other things, don't go into the water. That's human nature, would be to jump in a swimming pool, but they really can't wait for you. So once you come up, then they could still be above you, and then obviously you're going to get stung. So water would be human nature to try to jump in, but the best case is to actually try to get indoors.
Okay, indoors. Wow. Well, that was very enlightening. I've learned more about bees than I really ever.
We don't want to scare people too much, because of the fact that most of the time those bees will move on. I mean, if they're there, they could be there for upwards of 8 hours, or we had one right outside the fire station last year, right in the tree. I took a good picture of it. It was gone within 8 hours. So a lot of the times they will move on, but if they've set up something and they're being aggressive, then obviously, again, follow up with an expert to protect yourself.
And be careful. Captain.
Indeed, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I will cede the victory to you on that one.
Yes!
Nice.
I knew it. At the end, 2-1. Thank you so much. Always
have a good day.
Always so informative.
Thanks.
And for more about Tucson Fire Department services and safety tips, you can visit fire.tucsonaz.gov. Awesome.